Hello students, this video is about a current carrying loop and we are going to study that how this current carrying loop behaves as a magnetic dipole, and we are also going to express a relation for its magnetic dipole moment. So the first thing that we are going to study is how this current carrying loop behaves as a magnetic dipole, and then we will write an expression for its magnetic dipole moment. So for this we need a current carrying loop first. So here I have a current carrying loop and these arrows show the flow of current, and I have made this loop somewhat oval structure because I want to show it a 3D effect here, as this loop is not in the plane of paper. If it is in the plane of paper, then I must be making it like this, but this is not the case. This loop that I have taken is perpendicular to the plane of paper. That's why I made it in oval structure, and this is the flow of current. The arrow is showing the flow of current in this loop. Now first of all, we want to know, actually Ørsted already told that if there is a current carrying conductor, then it is capable of producing some magnetic field in its nearby region. So current carrying loop in itself is a current carrying conductor, and if current is flowing through it, then it is capable of producing magnetic field around it. And if there is magnetic field, there must be some magnetic field lines. The existence of magnetic field lines must be there. And to plot these magnetic field lines, we must know the direction of polarity, means which side there is the north pole and which is the south pole. So to find out that polarity, we have Ampere's right hand rule. We are going to use Ampere's right hand rule to find the polarity or to find the direction of magnetic field lines, right? So what this law states that if we hold this loop from our right hand such that the fingers of our right hand points along the direction of current. So we have to hold this loop from our right hand such that the fingers point in the direction of current. So fingers will go like this and come out with the flow of current. Then in this case, the direction in which our right hand thumb points is the direction of the pole having north polarity. Alright, so according to this rule, if I hold this loop from my right hand such that my fingers curl in the direction of flow of current, then in that case the direction of thumb, the direction in which my right hand thumb is pointing, gives the direction of the pole with north polarity. So this is the case. That means at the right side of the loop I have the polarity that is north, means this is the north facing polarity. Here it is north and this is the south one. If it is the case, then the magnetic field lines must be starting from north pole like this and ends at south pole. So these are like this, and we have to make arrows just to show what is the direction. So these are starting from north and ends at south. Okay, so basically it behaves something like that. A bar magnet is placed here in the middle of the loop. We can consider that, actually we assume that there is a bar magnet like this, and this is the north pole and this is the south pole. It behaves like this. So now we have a current carrying loop having magnetic field around it, and we have already studied that if we have a magnetic field along the axis of a circular current loop, means we want to know the magnetic field strength at any point along the axis of that circular loop. So in this case, if I plot axis, so this will be the along the x-axis, this will be the axis of the loop, and along y-axis will be the perpendicular of it. Let the radius of the loop be small a, and I want to know the strength of magnetic field at any point on this axis. Let that point be at a distance r. Suppose this is the point, okay, point P, which is at a distance r from the center, and I want to know what is the strength of magnetic field at this point P. So for this we have already derived the formula that magnetic field at any point on the axis of the loop can be given as mu naught upon 2 I a square upon r square plus a square whole power 3 by 2. This is the case for a point exists at the axis of the loop. Now we can rearrange this formula by writing it in the form of mu naught upon 4 pi. If I want to write 4 pi here, I have to multiply it also by 2 pi I a square r square plus a square 3 by 2, and this will become mu naught upon 4 pi twice of I, and pi a square is actually the radius, is actually the area of this loop. Pi into radius ka square, because a is the radius, so it will be 2ia. I am representing it by capital A, and denominator is r square plus a square 3 by 2. So this is the magnetic field at any axial point for this current carrying loop. Now if we consider that the point that we are assuming is at a large distance, means this point P is at a very large distance, or if we assume that r is greater than a as compared to the radius of the loop, if this point exists at a large distance, then we can neglect small a with respect to r in the denominator. We can neglect the term a square with respect to this term in denominator. Then in that case, this magnetic field strength will be mu naught upon 4 pi 2ia upon r square plus a square 3 by 2, and we are neglecting this, so we can't write this, no, we can't write this. It will be r square power 3 by 2. We neglect this term, so it will not be here. Then what we have, b axis is equal to mu naught upon 4 pi 2ia r square power 3 by 2, and we get the answer mu naught upon 4 pi 2ia upon r cube. This is equation number 1, and it represents the magnetic field strength at a point on axis of the loop, and the point is at a large distance. Now we want to compare this result to that what we get in electrostatics. So in case of electrostatics, there is electric field instead of magnetic field, and if you want to find the electric field at any axial point lying far away from that current, from that loop, then in that case we get the answer E axis is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught 2p upon r cube. This is equation number 2, right? What we get in case of electric field, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught 2p upon r cube, where p is the electric dipole moment. In equation number 2, small p represents electric dipole moment. Now if we compare the two equations, what we get, B and E, both B and E have same distance dependence, that is r cube. So if we compare these two, what we find in both equations, distance dependence is same, that is 1 upon r cube. Also they have same direction at any far away point, not just on the axis. So this suggests that circular current loop behaves as a magnetic dipole with magnetic moment Ia. That means if you compare these two equations, you get that these are the constants, right? This is the constant in case of magnetostatics or magnetism, and this is the constant in case of electrostatics. 2 is same, r cube is same. So when we compare these two equations, what we find, this is P, that is electric dipole moment, and this Ia term must be the magnetic dipole moment for that loop. So by comparison or by analogy, we say that the circular current carrying loop behaves as a magnet, as we show it here. Circular current carrying loop behaves as a magnet which have a magnetic dipole moment that is equal to IA. So on comparing equation 1 and 2, we get that the magnetic dipole moment is M is equal to I into A, right? Now if we want to represent it in vector form, so we must know the direction of magnetic dipole moment. According to this relation in vector form, we can write it as M vector is equal to I A vector. M vector is equal to I A vector, or M vector is equal to I A n cap. What we have, M vector is equal to I A n cap, and what it shows is the magnetic dipole moment of any current carrying loop is equal to the product of the current and its loop area. Okay, is equal to the current and its loop area, and its direction is defined to be normal to the plane of the loop. Okay, its direction is defined to be normal to the plane of loop in the sense given by right hand thumb rule. To find this direction n cap, we are going to use right hand thumb rule. So basically it is actually in the direction of in the direction of north polarity, because when we use right hand thumb rule, it again states that if we curl fingers of right hand in the direction of current in the loop, then extended thumb or the thumb of our right hand gives the direction of magnetic moment. Same as in case of magnetic field lines. जैसे हमें right hand thumb rule ने magnetic field lines की direction दिए थे, in the similar manner it will give us the direction of magnetic dipole moment. That means that जो magnetic dipole moment का direction है, that is n cap, it will be in the direction of north polarity, or we can find it in the direction by using right hand thumb rule. So n cap will be in this direction, and our magnetic dipole moment, that is M vector, will also exist in the same direction. So M vector direction and n cap direction is same, and it is same as that of the direction of north polarity, towards the north polarity, right? So the magnetic dipole moment for a current carrying loop is I into A. But if we have a current carrying loop or coil instead of loop, if we have a current carrying coil consisting of n turns, in that case we have to multiply this dipole moment by the number of turns. Okay, so if a current carrying coil has capital N number of turns, then in that case the magnetic dipole moment M is equal to NIA, and the factor Ni is called amperes turns. Okay, this factor Ni is called amperes turns for that coil, and we can write magnetic dipole moment as the product of ampere turns into area of the loop. So M is equal to, or the magnetic dipole moment is equal to ampere turns into loop area. And if we find dimensions of magnetic moment, that we just write as ampere meter square, unit we write there was ampere meter square in our previous video. So it comes from this formula. Ampere turn has the unit amperes because it is actually contains currents, and loop area is meter square. So SI unit of magnetic dipole moment is ampere meter square. And if we talk about dimensions of magnetic dipole moment, this is the dimension of magnetic dipole moment, then it will be dimension of current into dimension of area, that is L2. So the result that we get will be AL2. Dimensions of magnetic moment is AL2, right? Magnetic moment is equal to ampere turn into loop area or current into area for a current for a current loop, and ampere turn into area for a current carrying coil with n number of turns. Its SI unit is ampere meter square, and its dimension is AL2. So that's all about the current loop, which behaves as a magnetic dipole with magnetic dipole moment M. In our next video, we are going to study about how a revolving electron acts as a current carrying loop and has a certain magnetic dipole moment. Okay, so for that, stay tuned and keep studying. Thank you.